How's it going, everybody? I'm back in Fallout 4. And again, I'm at Jamaica Plains with the second build that I'm going to be doing here. This time, it's going to be kind of really short, obviously, because there's only about, I mean, 5 minutes of building and then maybe like 6 minutes of building and like a 2 minute tour or something like that. But it is a very simple shack that's going to be lifted up off the ground onto like the second floor area of Jamaica Plains. It's gonna have a staircase that's gonna lead up to the roof of it as well. Um, and like I was saying, whenever I did the first video, I want this Jamaica Plains to be very open, so people, as they walk up to like the rooftops or whatever, or whoever does, you can kind of see down into that shed area on the right side of the house, out in front of that house that's on the lower level. And it's a very simple build, like I said. Just that's pretty much the whole structure for like this level. I end up adding a walkway. I get one of the barn. I was gonna get warehouse, but I went back to barn actually because I wanted it to have a different color. I wanted it to have that white texture on it so that it was a little different than all the like brown that is in this area. So I got the barn piece with the grate, and I moved all of these wall pieces. There's a small gap because I wanted it to fit this gap right here. I think I end up moving this a little bit forward. So whenever you look at it, it's not quite glitching into the rooftop of this house that I'm on. And then also, I wanted it to be a little closer to the actual second floor of the house at Jamaica Plains. So right here, I went ahead and grabbed a staircase and I just lined it up with the roof of this house. And there's a small gap, but I end up grabbing some plywood pieces and just kind of sticking them in around the front of this because I wanted it to be not as obvious. When you look at it from the bottom, it still is kind of like poking out a little bit, but it's not quite as bad with these plywood pieces here. So you can see it kind of fills in a little bit better. And then I just grab this plywood piece and then I put it on top of the other one. I thought I did. Maybe I leave it underneath. So I have one and then I put one across the top. That's what it is. So that it's not like floating on either edge of it. And for some reason, place anywhere is really weird, so I have to attach it and deattach it and reattach it. But once I have that, it's pretty much filled in. You can see it's a little bit more closed off up here, but you still kind of have an opening over this all, and I really like the way that looks. And to make this look a little bit better, I end up grabbing a junk fence and I go ahead and put it on this left side. So it's in front of this door a little bit. I tried to line up the beams with the corners of the house and then lowered it so that the cinder blocks on the bottom don't glitch too far into the ground, but they're just kind of look like they're sitting on top of that plywood right there. That's behind the menu right now, that piece of plywood. I take it out. So now it looks a little bit better, but I wanted to make sure that the wooden, like the piece wasn't glitched in any way, so I had to move it a little bit closer to in front of the door so that the wood pieces sticking up through the floor wouldn't be glitching like in any weird places or anything like that. And then from the supports, beams, and posts, I think is what it is. There's some pretty awesome like support beams that you can get from that mod by Toys Out of the Pram. And I go ahead and I get this interesting one, and I place it where it's lined up right there. And I got one of these taller pieces, just single post, or yeah, so a single piece of wood just standing straight up right there, and I put it, it ends up lining up pretty well and making for an interesting support on the building. And then here's the finished tour. So about 6 minutes of a build. Didn't take very long, but interesting progression on the building, I think. Makes it look a little bit more interesting. You can see I added some sandbags and cinder blocks around this. It's going to be a very defensive structure in general. That's kind of what my plans are for the rooftop as well. That's why I added that staircase up to the roof of this house that I just built. I've got some interesting supports on the bottom of this building, make it look a little bit more structurally sound. And yeah, I think that this is turning out pretty good. I didn't delete a lot of the decorations out of I haven't messed with the original house yet. And then also I haven't done anything with the stuff down on the bottom floor yet. I deleted some of the junk, but still underneath that part there's some random boxes and just different workshop stuff. I made a little bit of a door frame on the door with pieces of wood. I think that looks a little bit nicer. And then just very basic decorations inside the house. But let me know what you guys think of this build right here and this settlement so far. And I'll see you guys in the next video when I work on the roof. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.